Hi, welcome back to Happy Apple Core Homestead. Today we have grapes, lots and lots of Concord grapes. And I really did kind of want to make wine, but I'm pretty in over my head here with my projects, and I still need to do some more planting in the garden. We've got to get the shallots and the garlic out there in the next 2 weeks. So I decided I'm going to take all of my Concord grapes and I'm going to make grape juice. I'm super excited. The first thing we have to do is get the grapes off the stems and get them rinsed up. So that's going to take me a pretty good long time. So I'm going to get started with that, and I'll see you when they're all clean and ready to put in the pot. All right, be back. All right, friends, that took about 4 hours to get all those grapes off of their stems, get them washed, and get them into the pans. This is a 16-quart pot and it's almost full. We've used a potato masher here to just open up the grapes, and it's just simmering right now, and there's a second pot back here because this one was too full. And we're just gonna let these simmer down for maybe a half an hour, not too long. We just really want the grapes to fully open up and get some of that flavor out, and then we're going to strain them. So I'll see you back in a little bit. The grapes have been cooking for quite some time. We're gonna put them through this large sieve first, and then we'll go to the next step. I did have a muddler for this, and I can't find it, but it's all gonna work out fine. So we're going to take this off the heat. Go ahead and grab a spoon here. Let's get these close together, eh? So these grapes, Concords, have seeds in them, and we definitely do not want those in our juice. And it's okay to push the juice through because we'll be doing another straining later. Okay, if like me, you've got some stems in here, go ahead and take them out and put them back into the sieve. So we're just pushing all of this juice and as much of the skins and other things that can go through, we want them to go through for that nice, beautiful flavor. To make this a more clear juice, we will be straining it again later, but this is just the first one to get that beautiful Concord grape taste. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this and this whole giant one done, and then I will meet you back for the next step. Hey, come and do a cameo on my video.
Not open.
Will you?
You don't need old ass people in your video.
You're not old. Welcome back, friends. Let me go and grab my people from the corner to join us. Come on, people from the corner. Look, it's the people from the corner.
Wow, Tara, what are you making today?
We're making grape juice. You want to help?
How can I help you?
Well, Have you got an opinion on that?
I love the sound of it dripping.
What does it remind you of?
I guess fall nights in Virginia.
Virginia, huh?
As the rain cascades over the barn.
Is there a tin roof on the barn?
I know.
Okay friends, so we are taking the juice that we already filtered once and we are putting it through moistened jelly bags, and I will check back with you after we are done with all of these containers.
Now I've heard the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice, but I don't know. That was just in a song I heard.
I'm pretty sure it's true. Okay everybody, we still have a lot of draining going on. I'm gonna put some of this juice into this jug here, and it's just gonna sit in the refrigerator overnight. So once all of this drains down, everything's filtered the first time through, well, technically the second time through, it's all gonna go into jugs, into the fridge for overnight, and I will check back with you in the morning. I am not sure if my camera was working while I did all of this, but basically all I said was, now that the weekend shenanigans are over, these have been resting for 48 hours, it's time to get them into the jelly bag for the second filter. And I've already put in several jars and it's just dripping along. I started this at, I don't know, about 15 minutes ago. I'm hoping that this is not gonna take 10 hours like it did on Friday, but we shall find out. I'm just gonna let this go ahead and do its thing and drip. I'm gonna let these get up to room temperature because they're kind of frozen a little bit, and also they're a lot thicker than the juice that I poured into these. I'm not really sure how I want to filter this again, these ones here. I'll just think about it and decide what I want to do, and then I'll let you know. I'll be back in a bit. I decided that while this set is kind of dripping and doing its thing, I was going to get some cheesecloth in a bowl and start working on some of these that are a little bit thicker and have more debris. So most likely what I'm going to do is I'll filter all of these through this and then I'll put it through this one. I think that will give me what I'm looking for. This is a brand new cheesecloth here. It's washable and reusable. I just cut it to fit this bowl. I've got some chip clips on here to keep it from, plopping all the way down into the bottom. And I did wet it beforehand. So you want to make sure that you wet down your cheesecloth before you use it. And I'm just gonna carefully move these to the side. And I'll show you what that looks like. And we're just gonna get started with some of these thicker ones. I thought they were frozen, but I'm thinking they're just super thick. And I'm just gonna pour it right in. And see if we can get some just actual juice out of this. And then the pulp that's left over, I haven't decided if I'm gonna make jam or if I'm gonna make fruit leather or grape butter. That would be yummy too. So I'm gonna make one of those things. I'm not gonna waste any of the thicker pulp stuff that I have left over, but I want to get as much juice as possible because I love my grape juice. So that's what I'm going to do here, and once this all kind of drains down and we're ready to get them in the jars, I will bring you back into the kitchen. These are almost done with their dripping, and I decided that what I'm going to do with the extra pulp is I'm going to put them into ice cube trays and I'm going to freeze them for now. That way, another day after harvest is over, I can come back in and I can make either the fruit leather or grape butter or jam or jelly or whatever. Well, probably not jelly because you would want to use the juice for the jelly, but we can make jam. So I'm just going to scoop out the pulp and just put them right into the trays. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and get all of these filled up with the pulp and get the rest of these 3 jugs into the filters. So hopefully we can get the canning done. It's already over an hour has passed since we started filtering this time around, and it really is just taking a long time in general. So I'm just trying to make this as short as possible. So hopefully I can get to dinner before 10 o'clock tonight. All right, I'll see you in a little bit. Over here in front of me, outside of the line of vision for the camera, we've got some of the pulp into the ice cube trays. We're gonna go ahead now that these are empty and just rinse them out really good before we put the juice that is in this bowl in here for its next filter. This juice here that is nice and clear and is done with the filtering process, we're just gonna put into this pan. I think we're gonna do cold jars, cold juice, cold canner today, but I'm putting it in here in case I change my mind. This has just been one of those wishy-washy kind of videos, like, I'm not really sure what I'm doing, but let's do a video anyway. So we're just gonna take these off, give them a good little rinse. Oops. Just gonna set them aside for now. I just feel like it's gonna strain better if we take some of the pulp that's stuck to the side of the bag out. And we'll just pour our juice in here. Okay, and we'll put these guys back on the bowls. And we'll go give these a nice rinse. Now that we have most of those pulp particles out, we'll put them back on the structure. There's little ties here to keep it nice and tight so it doesn't fall into the bowl. Didn't account for that, did I? Okay, one more time. Manage not to break my bowl, that would be awesome. All right, that's pretty stable. Am I gonna do it again? Let me see. Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm fired. I'm firing myself. Oh, all right, they're back. So next thing I have to do is take the pulp out of this, and then we're gonna put the juice that's in this bowl right back into these guys. And then we'll get to emptying these other 2 containers. This one, actually, I think I can go ahead and get started. A lot of the pulp from this batch has gone to the bottom. So this looks pretty good. If I see the thicker pulp, if there is any in here, start to come out, I will stop and put it into that other one. So far, so good. Okay, I am seeing some thicker stuff come out here. Okay, it's starting to get a little bit thick. I think I'm gonna just lay off for now. Let this do its thing, start working on this, and then I'll get back to you. Okay, welcome back. We are finally ready to put the filtered grape juice into the jars. I have clean jars here. My rings are clean, my lids are clean. I've got my funnel, got my bubble popper, and I have my canner full of water over here. We're using just room temperature juice, room temperature jars, and room temperature canning water. Let's just get to this. It took me 3 hours to do the second filter on this, and I am ready to be done. And let's grab a ladle. And we're just gonna fill the jars up. These are quart jars. We are doing a water bath process for these. It's 30 minutes for pints or quarts, doesn't matter which. But we're using quarts today. I was gonna use pints, but I changed my mind. Now this is a grape juice concentrate. If I didn't mention earlier, you'll probably want to add water to it when you open it. And I am not going to be adding any sweetener. I'm not adding lemon juice. I'm not adding anything. This is just straight Concord grape juice right from the garden. Okay, I was just checking my recipe for my headspace. We're gonna leave a 1/4 inch of headspace at the top here, which is right about there, so pretty high. I've got some foam here you can see that's coming up, so I'm going to deal with that. I did take the foam that accumulated in the I did take the foam off that accumulated in the pot, but it is still foaming up here. So I'm just gonna carefully remove the foam. There we go. I can see my headspace a little bit better. Okay. And you'll get your bubble popper in there. Try to get some of this out. Okay, I'm happy with that, and we're going to take a damp paper towel and wipe the rim of your jar nice and good. You don't want any grape juice on there, and you can see that even though I couldn't see it, it was definitely there. And grab your lid, pop that on, and put your ring on. Just finger tight is all you need, and straight into the jar, and straight into the canner it goes. Okay, I'm gonna finish filling up all the rest of these jars and getting them in the canner while I charge my GoPro because it's about to die, and then we'll go on to the next step. Well, I got all of the jars in the canner. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quarts and a pint, and this is all that was left over, so I thought I would give you a little taste test. Because everything was cold when we got started, I'm heating the canner up slowly because the burner that I use is, I don't know, haunted or something, or defective. I don't know which. But it heats up super fast, and I don't want my jars to break, I do have the rack on the bottom, so always remember to put your rack on the bottom of your canner before you put your jars in. Yeah, so let's taste this. So this is super concentrated, right? I'll tell you what it's gonna need. Actually, okay, if my lips are purple, just ignore that. This is really good, just the way it is. I can see how children would want it to be less strong, but I actually really love it. So I'll probably just drink it all like this. Okay, this is really good. Okay, now back to business. Hopefully I'm not too purple in the mouth. We're gonna heat this up. When it gets to a full rolling boil, we'll set the timer for 30 minutes. Pretty simple. There are some recipes that say a warm water bath is sufficient. So I think that's about 190 degrees. If you want to do it that way, like, that's up to you. I'm gonna do it the way I normally water bath things. I'm just gonna do the full rolling boil for 30 minutes. I don't feel bad about it. I don't think it's gonna hurt anything to process at a higher temperature. I think it'll still be great. But if you want to adhere to a recipe that just calls for, you know, the hot water bath and, you know, that's 190 instead of 200 degrees, whatever. I don't think it matters. So I'm gonna crank this heat up, and when it gets to a full rolling boil, I'll go ahead and set my 30-minute timer. Okay, see you soon. The timer has gone off. It's been 30 minutes. We're gonna take the canner and very carefully, because we have a glass cooktop, just lift it up gently, of course after turning the heat off. Just gonna very gently and minimally lift it up and move it over to the other burner. It is quite heavy, but you don't want to scrape it along your glass top because, well, you know, you'll get scratches in your glass. Okay, we're gonna just take the lid off right away, and then we're gonna set a timer for 5 minutes to let these rest before we take them out of the canner. Remember to open it away from your face. There will be some water dripping down, so careful if you got your bare feet. Okay, it's opened up. Got the timer set for 5 minutes, and we'll be back in a minute. It's been 5 minutes, and we're gonna take these out of the canner. And here is the beautiful juice. We're just gonna set it down on a towel. I've got tile countertops, which are very cold, and we do not want any thermal shock. Try not to tip your jars. The water on top of the lids will evaporate very quickly. Well, these are our 6 beautiful jars of juice. We're just gonna let these sit here for 12 to 24 hours, just kind of depending on my schedule, but at least 12 hours minimum. I'm gonna let them pop and seal, and we'll check back with them in a little bit, and I'll show you what we do next. The grape juice is all done, so the last thing we need to do is make sure that they all sealed, get them dated, and get them labeled. So the first thing you do is take your rings off. I do store mine with the rings off. And we'll just make sure none of them pop and pick them up by the seal. Okay, they all sealed up nicely, and we're just going to, actually before we put the date on it, let's just wipe them down. This side is wet and this side is dry, so we can just wash it off and then dry it. Just gets any of the, maybe a little tiny bit of juice that's siphoned out that could become sticky or moldy on the jar. It just gets that right off. We'll dry them as well. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this. I wanted to show you. So this is a grape juice concentrate. It's a really beautiful color, and there is virtually no sediment on the bottom. So I'm not sure with the lighting actually in here that you'll be able to see it. It's really dark in my house. I'm thinking you're not going to be able to see the color, but anyway, no sediment on the bottom, and it's just a really pretty purple color. I'll try to get a picture to insert for you in some better lighting. So now that they're clean, we're just gonna pop the date on the top. I have already written out my labels. I use dissolvable labels. They're really nice. I like them. And that's it. All done, and they are ready to be stored in the pantry. Just a couple final reminders on this recipe for grape juice. It is a concentrate, so we didn't use any water when we were cooking them. We didn't add any water, lemon juice, honey, sugar, nothing. So this is just plain Concord grape juice concentrate. As you saw, I drank quite a bit of it yesterday, and I love it just the way it is. It might be a little strong for you, so when you open it up, just give it a little taste, and if it needs water, you can add another quart of water, or however much you need to, you just make it the flavor that you love the most, and you can add a little bit of honey at the end, or not. I probably am just gonna drink it straight out of the jar. Thank you so much for watching my video. I appreciate you. If you have any questions or even some suggestions, please leave them down in the comments. I read every single one and I respond to every single message. I really appreciate all of your support, and I hope you found this helpful. Bye!